Hello everyone, and welcome to the ultimate Valheim enemies tier list. We will be ranking them from obviously S tier down to A, B, C, D, and all the way down to F tier, where the worst of the worst shall reside. Real quick before this video begins, a lot of people that watch my content aren't actually subscribed to me. We're super close to 50 subs, and I would really appreciate it if you guys went and subscribed. Thanks for watching, enjoy the vid. Here we are in our tier maker tier list. You can go on tier maker and look up Valheim ultimate enemies tier list if you'd like to mess with it yourself, but we'll begin with enemies from the meadows and then to the black forest, swamp, snow biome, and then all the way to the plains last, just in the normal order of progression. The very first thing we're going to start with is the neck. Yeah, it's an interesting name. I don't really know why they named it that. Maybe it means something. It's a very basic enemy. It's very annoying. You usually only find them when you're going along the coastline to find flint. Usually they just come up and bug you. I think these guys are a solid B tier enemy. No, we'll put them at C. We'll put them at C because they're just kind of stupid looking. The next enemy we're going to be looking at is the Greyling, the little brother of the Grey Dwarves. This is also one of the first like real hostile enemies that you meet. They're usually in the woods of the meadows more than, you know, the coastline where the necks are. But you usually find these guys while you're just chopping down trees and they come up behind you, smack you, and you turn around and absolutely obliterate them. Overall, I think they're a pretty solid, like, standard enemy to teach you how combat works, so I think they deserve the B tier. I know boars aren't on here, but they're kind of like not monsters really. They're kind of just there. So imagine there's just like a separate tier for boars. They're stupid. They're annoying. You get them, you smack them for leather. That's what you do. Well, now we're moving on to the black forest with the base creature of a gray dwarf. The only time you see these guys is you're just taking a nice waltz through the black forest looking for some thistle, for some copper, maybe even some tin, and these guys just come at you in groups of 34 and just either obliterate you if you're early game, or they're just a nuisance. They're just a nuisance. They're a C tier. They're a C tier enemy. I think along with that, we are going to now rate the Grey Dwarf Brute and the Grey Dwarf Shaman. The Brute, I mean, he looks cooler. He's got red eyes, right? But we'll just keep it at a C tier, just because, I mean, they're stronger, but like they're kind of stupid. But you know what? This fucking guy gets a D tier. I don't like this guy. The stupid Grey Dwarf Shaman. The shamans in this game are absolutely cracked sometimes. They're just a nuisance. They're terrible. But, I mean, once you get up close to them, you can just bash them twice in the face, and they are gone. They are evaporated. It's not a good enemy. It's not worthy of a C tier because it's not as good as the other two, but it's definitely not bad enough to be an F tier. The next enemy we'll be looking at in the Black Forest is, of course, the honorary Troll. Oh boy, do I love these guys. They scared the absolute hell out of me in the early game. I was terrified to walk through the Black Forest. I love these guys. They're an A tier. A solid A. You know what? S tier. They are an S tier because they are fun. They are funky looking. I mean, just look at that guy. Their trophies are the most terrifying thing to ever exist, but I love them. I love them. They're like the best enemy in the game. When you come across when you're like, hell yeah, that's a troll, baby. They're sick. The skeleton... But the only thing I will say about them is that they attack anything else. Like any other type of enemy, they'll attack Grey Dwarves, they'll attack the fueling, they'll attack everything, right? They'll attack Draugr, they'll attack... You can just pit these things against each other and they'll fight for you. So honestly, skeletons, you are a solid B tier. They are a solid B tier. They're a solid enemy. They're like a classic medieval enemy. And you know what? I think they're swell. I think they're swell because you can use them to your advantage. The other enemy that you find in these buried chambers is the Ghost. What the fuck is this thing? I've seen this thing like twice, maybe. I've looted so many buried chambers over the course of my like 80 hours playing this game. They're so stupid. They don't do anything special. They just kind of come up to you and like rub their spiritual body against you. They deserve an F tier. They're an F tier. They suck. They're not good. They're just... God, they're dumb. They're dumb. They're dumb. The next enemy we'll cover is just an enemy that is not in any of the main biomes, but in the ocean biome, and that is the sea serpent. Now, I actually really like the sea serpent. They're always super fun to come across. I mean, once you get like later game, you can obviously just like hook them in with the harpoon and then just shoot them down and get the scales and the meat. They are a solid A tier enemy. Next, we're going to be moving on to the swamp. I hate the swamp. We'll start off with the poison skeletons. These guys are basically skeletons, but better, and basically everything else in the swamp is immune to poison anyway, so they're a D tier. I prefer the Black Forest skeletons over the stupid poison skeletons. Next up, we got the blob, or enemy_blob that it was for a while. These are the worst. If you don't have poison resistance, these things will beat you down relentlessly, but they're not as bad as its big brother counterpart. So I'm gonna give this a D tier. Its big brother counterpart is the fucking walking brain. I don't know. I forgot what this thing's called, honestly. Whenever I see one, I run away. I hate this thing. It splits into other slime. It's just a Minecraft slime. It's just a large Minecraft slime that splits into other blobs. And I hate it. So this is well deserved of an F tier. Not for the same reason as the ghost, though. The ghost is just stupid and useless. This thing I actually hate. Now we'll be moving on to the Draugr. Don't get me wrong. They are sick looking. They've got some cool ass armor. They've got those glowing green eyes, and they will beat the shit out of you though. I don't think that they deal poison damage, which is very nice. That is a breath of fresh air in the swamp. For that reason, I think they get a B tier. Next up, we got the Draugr Elite, which is essentially the very weird looking version of a Draugr. You know, they're a C tier. They're not very frequent, and they're just kind of a waste of time. Although you do need the Draugr Elite trophy to make the Draugr bow, I believe. So honestly, for that, we'll just put him at a B tier. We'll put him at a B tier along with the normal Draugr. Next thing in the swamp is the Wraith. Kind of similar to the Ghost. I've seen this thing like twice. Maybe it's because I refuse to go into the swamp at nighttime. I don't know if they only spawn at nighttime. I'm not exactly sure how that works. So it's an F tier. It's just a revamped ghost that you can actually like see. They just fly after you and just smack you up. And for that reason, I'm giving it an F tier because it's stupid. It's stupid. And I think the last enemy we have for the swamp is the Leech. I don't think I really need to explain much more. Alright, moving on to the mountains. We will start off with the wolf. Although these guys aren't very annoying, I don't like them a whole ton, but honestly, I think they're a solid C tier. If you get the cool cape from them, so I guess I'm not really complaining too much about them. Next up, we got the Fenring. It's kind of just a wolf on crack. You get a B. You get a B. I've seen it like twice. I don't really know how. I've only seen it twice, but they're not that hard to kill. They get a B. Drakes. I'm not really sure what I think about them too much. They just kind of fly around, and you gotta wait till they like flap up their wings and shoot the ice balls at you for you to shoot back. Sure, we'll give it an A tier. We'll give it an A tier because they're not annoying. The last enemy we have for the mountains is the stone golem. This thing is cool. They're like really cool looking, actually. I mean, what's not cool about them? I think they deserve an A tier. We'll start with the basic fueling. The little grunt soldier, the little grunt worker that's making minimum wage. I think he resides at a solid C tier, along with kind of the gray dwarf, because there's some other variations. Now we're gonna move on to the brute. These guys are insane. These guys are so strong. They're just cool. They'll beat you up if you're not like prepared, but honestly, I think this guy deserves a B tier, unlike the Grey Dwarf Brute, which is just kind of stupid. Now for the Shaman. Oh, baby. This thing drops nuclear bombs upon you. I don't know how this thing is so powerful. We'll just put it at a D tier. The next thing that we're gonna be looking at is the Death Skeeto. I don't think I need to say much about that one either. Moving on, the Lox. This thing is actually pretty cool. It's kind of just like a big dog, bear, cow, buffalo, reptilian? I'm not sure what it is, but I like it. It looks really cool, and it's just kind of a neat mob that they added into the game, and I think it's a solid A tier, and I like them. I think they're cool. Surtlings. These things are found in the swamp and also in the Ashlands biome at the very bottom of the map, and they drop coal and then surtling cores sometimes. It's a solid A tier enemy. This is the final tier list, and I think only one enemy is deserving of the S tier, and that is obviously the troll.